Hey, SVC football fans, this is Shane Combs, SVC Sports Talk Plus, coming at you with a little Week 11. That's right, playoff football discussion. Before we get started, I want to thank Dr. Chris Good for all his support here on the YouTube channel, and want to send our thoughts and prayers out to Doc Good and his family as they go through a tough time this week. Just want to let you know, Chris, that we're thinking about you and praying for you. As we get going into our coverage for this week, obviously, our league is cut in half now, as half of our league makes the postseason, 2 hosting, 2 traveling. And, as we talked about this leading up through, not great draws, but certainly some doable draws in terms of some of the matchups. Before we get to those 4 playoff teams, I think it's worth mentioning the big win that Huntington had over Adena there on the Thursday night game. Thought that was an outstanding game, back and forth. I really enjoyed that. Very entertaining. I think it does a lot for Huntington going into the off season. I've said several times that I love their young quarterback, and I really feel like if you look grades 7 through about 10 there in that Huntington football program, I think they're trending up, and I think they're on to something there. That 10th or that Week 10 win there in overtime certainly does help them into the off season for sure. You look at a couple other teams with Westfall and Southeastern as they move forward and with some young kids and some skill kids and some different things in the weight room, and talking to some coaches on the scoreboard show. I think there's some optimism there as well. So throughout the discussions on the scoreboard show with the 4 playoff coaches, and then watching some different film and so forth, I think there's some things to like. Obviously, Uniota and Paint Valley in their respective divisions will host. Don't know a lot about Uniota's opponent, but I do know I feel like they've moved into a more gettable region than what they've been in the past. We've learned that this time of year that Uniota will get an opponent that matches up with them a little bit more athletically, but I really like the improvements physically in the trenches and with some of the run game that Uniota has made throughout the year. And I even talked to Hoopsie on the scoreboard show the other night about I think there's more balance on their defense than they've ever had, in terms of a lot of different people who can make a tackle, a lot of different people who can defend on the edges and match up with some of the athletes they're going to see, and certainly the physicality go a long way in the way Uniota's been running the ball. As far as Paint Valley hosting, obviously they're still holding out hope to be at full strength. But if they're not, it certainly should take a lot of positives out of how they played in Week 10. I thought they played a terrific football game, certainly had a chance to win. Credit to Zane Trace, they make a few more plays. But I like some of the things that Paint Valley was doing, and I think if they can make strides moving into Week 11, they have a chance to win and advance. Their opponent I have seen on film. They certainly passed the eye test athletically, particularly at the skill kids. Their quarterback's got some ability to make some plays, but he also gives you an opportunity to make some plays on him. He's a risk taker, super athlete, but someone who's going to test your secondary and give your secondary some chances in terms of he's going to throw it up and give his wide receivers a chance to make some plays. Excited to see that one out in Bainbridge on Friday night. As far as our 2 teams traveling, I love the way Piketon's played the second half of the year. I think they've played a really high-level brand of football. We've highlighted so much throughout the year how they've been improved defensively. They're going to go on the road, and they're certainly going to get tested by an athletic Columbus Academy team. But again, I like the way they've been playing, and I'm anxious to see if they can survive the first quarter and really settle into the game. I think the way they run the football and their ability to defend gives them a chance at the playoff Week 11 level to compete. And then obviously Zane Trace. They get in at the 15 seed, traveling down to Fairland. Fairland's outstanding. But again, I've said all year long that I really believe in Zane Trace's physicality, the way they've competed, going all the way back to some of the teams they played in the first 3 weeks. They've proven that up front that they can compete. And again, Fairland's going to present an incredible challenge, but I'm anxious to see how Zane Trace goes on the road and competes. So again, 4 teams into Week 11. It's good stuff. I'm happy for the league. Hopefully we can get some teams advancing on the Week 12 and This time of year, it's all about matchups, so hopefully some of these matchups will be in our favor. So check out the volleyball coverage on the YouTube channel as well. I'll be working with Sosa over at Logan this week as we have the semifinals on Thursday night, the championship on Saturday. That's got some SVC flavor as well. And then make sure that you're subscribed here on the YouTube channel so that I can keep coming at you with SVC updates, and we'll be in the winter with basketball before you know it. Thanks, everyone.